Well, hello there, everybody, and welcome to another installment, a random installment of my series called The Red Shadow Remembers. And this time around, I'm remembering an old cartoon from the 80s slash into the 90s, part of a gigantic worldwide phenomenon back in those days, for what was known as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So hopefully you're old enough to remember original Turtles stuff and not some of this newer stuff, including this new Michael Bay movie that all I'm going to say about it right now is I guess I'm just going to have to wait and see. But I'm not that enthused with the CG work that they've done on the Turtles themselves. Like, to CG the Turtles is, I would expect that, but the look of their faces is throwing me for a loop. But the movie will be about sometime soon, this summer, I know. So I guess I'll just wait to see what the reviews are for that. But anyway, I'm already kind of jumping ahead of myself here. Last night while my daughter was over, she wanted to watch, well, she's been watching my Turtles cartoons, and I'm going to show off my Turtle collection here in a moment. But she'd been watching some of the old original cartoon series. This is the cartoon series that started in 1987 and ran until about 1996, I believe it was, before it kind of rolled on into some sort of a remake cartoons later on in the 2000s or whatever. But she'd been watching the cartoons, and I mentioned something about the live-action movies, because I didn't think that she knew anything about those. Apparently, when she was about 5, she says that I had her watch the first movie, and that she thought it was strange, and she pretended to go to sleep. I don't really remember her doing that, and I find it hard to believe that she would remember something that happened 3 or 4 years ago when she was like 5, but maybe she did, I don't know. But she paid more attention to the movie last night, although I still don't think it was like her favorite thing. She still likes the cartoons, and I can understand that. The cartoons, that 1987 series of cartoons was probably it was probably my favorite thing for the Ninja Turtles, alongside that first live-action movie. You know, the Ninja Turtles have got such a long and storied history, and I couldn't cover it all, even if I wanted to, because there's so much to it. But I'll try to encapsulate it here in a nutshell. A couple of guys, Eastman and Laird, I can't remember their first names right off the top of my head. These two guys did this graphic novel back in like the early 80s, and it was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it was like a black and white style graphic novel. I don't think there was any color to it. It was kind of on the gritty and edgy side. It wasn't loaded with the pizza and cowabungas and all that kind of craziness. That came later when it got molded into something that would be more appealing to the kids. And hence the cartoon series that came out, and the Archie comics, which I just now remembered. I have the first 6 issues of the Archie comics version of the original Turtles cartoon, but that was buried away. I don't think I could have dug it out to show off in this video anyway. I'll save it for a comics-related video. But they began this blitz, a cartoon, toy line, the comic books, video games, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. Anybody? If you remember that game, then your childhood was awesome. That was an amazing arcade game. And then the live-action movies came out, and around the summer of 1990, I think, was when the first one released. And that was such an amazing summer for Ninja Turtles, and just in general. I remember loving that time period, and I was like, I would have been 15 or 16 at that time, but I was eating it up. And then it rolled, like, it went through 10 seasons as the cartoon, and then later on it was like some new cartoons came out that were a little more serious, say like teenage aimed cartoons. And then there was a fourth movie, which was an animated, like a CG animated movie, and now they got this Michael Bay movie coming out. So that's like a history of the Ninja Turtles in a nutshell. But I want to show off my collection here really quick because I really, really love the fact that all of this was released and I was able to pick all this up. This came out in 2004. And this is essentially the first season. It doesn't say that, well, okay, no, that's actually not true. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little confused here. This was like volume 1, but it's not even listed with a volume number on it. Because at the time that this came out, I don't think that they knew whether or not it was going to sell well enough to warrant further releases. I have discovered this in my time working in electronics. A lot of these older shows, whether they're animated, whether they're TV shows, as long as it was a series that had more than one season, they'll put out a first season and then they'll gauge interest. And if this sells well, then eventually you get this, which is Volume 2. This had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This has like 5 episodes plus 4. As it says, never seen bonus episodes that I later on found out were like from the 10th and final season. They threw it on here because I think they realized that there was a chance that they may not ever get to season 10. But by the time they get to volume 2, this has 13 actual episodes. The 5 on here roll into this, and basically you are now going through the episodes of the series, season by season. But they did it by separating them into volumes at first. So this was volume 1, this was volume 2, and you had volume 3 with 12 more episodes. And you had volume 4 with 12 more episodes. And you got volume 5. This is like a lenticular style cover here with the 3D action. You got Raphael on the cover there, which I guess I should have been mentioning. Like Donatello was on the cover of this previous one. And then you had volume 6, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Master Splinter. 12 more episodes there. Now, it's at this point, I'm assuming they were like, okay, these are selling well. We have them coming out at a pretty fair clip. This one was released in 2006. So from 2004 to 2006, they released these 6 volumes. So the next thing that they put out was not a volume 7, but it is actually season 4 in its own box set. And this is kind of cool because if you look at it from the side here, this is an outer plastic cover, and this is Raphael on the front, but it's a 3D Raphael. It's his face is like embossed on the plastic of the piece underneath it. So that's really, really cool. And then season 5 came out, and season 5 was released in what is like a pizza box. This one's a little easier for me to get out of the box, but this is it. This is like a pizza box. About as easy to open as a pizza box. You open this up, and then inside the pizza box are the discs that look like pizza. Because the Turtles were pizza fanatics. So that was kind of cool. Even on the, let me get this closed back up because it'll drive me and my OCD crazy if I don't. Even on the back of it, the special features is made to look like the food facts, like your nutritional facts. So, an A+ for creativity on that. Pizza box. Then season 6 just gets its own simple little set in 16 episodes here for this one. But then they went back to doing something a little cool for season 7. They released it in 4 different box sets, and each one was called a slice, and each one, this came out in 2009, it's the 25th anniversary, and each one highlights a character from the show, and each one comes with a little miniature figure. This one, part 1, part 1, Leonardo slice, you get a Leonardo mini figure in it. Part 2 is Michelangelo, so there's your Michelangelo figure. There's that. Part 3 is the Donatello slice. Part 3, there's your Donatello figure, and then part 4 is Raphael, and there's Raphael there. And that's how they released season 7. And that basically was the end of the cool releases that they had for the series. But at least they continued to release the seasons. Complete season 8. This was 8 episodes. Season 9 with another lenticular cover, and this had 8 more episodes. And then finally, because this one, let's see, trying to see what the date on this was. I think this one was 2011. So anyway, season 9 was released in 2011. Season 10, the complete final season, there's where it says season 10. This one came out, well, it came out in 2012, but I just remember feeling like the gap between season 9 and 10 was a long one. And I was starting to get worried that they weren't even going to release the final season. So next up I want to show the movies. This is the original movie with the live action, the guys in the animatronic suits, Elias Koteas as Casey Jones, and Judith Hoag as April O'Neil. She was unbelievable. Just, I mean, they call her a babe in there, and it's completely justified because she was, in my opinion, the perfect choice for April O'Neil. Sadly, in the second movie, Secret of the Ooze, me and some of my friends make a joke sometimes about any sequel should have that line, Secret of the Ooze, after it. But in this one, an actress by the name of Paige Turco took over as April O'Neil, and she just wasn't Judith Hoag. What can I say? And then you have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 3, and this is the one where they go back in time and into like samurai era. Numbers 2 and 3, even withstanding the fact that Judith Hoag didn't come back, both of them were just a little on the cheesy side. Number 2 was where like Shredder ended up doing mutations of his own, and I can't remember if Bebop and Rocksteady are in it or if they just literally jumped and made 2 other. Yeah, Shredder and his mutant allies Razar and Toka. Like, they didn't even do Bebop and Rocksteady from the cartoons. They created a couple of beasts and had like the worst kinds of suits, and it was just horrible. And then Shredder himself became Super Shredder, which, one point of trivia there, Kevin Nash, aka Diesel, aka Big Sexy from the WWE, WCW, from being one of the founding members of the NWO, he played Super Shredder in it, but you don't even see his face. And then more recently, in 2007, this movie was released called TMNT. It was a CGI movie. It actually wasn't too bad, and it's supposed to kind of, sort of, I guess, follow up the previous live-action movies. But it was fun, and I guess, in a way, I would have almost kind of liked to have seen something more like this being done than this Michael Bay movie that's coming out. And 2 last little things I wanted to show off, just for the heck of it, because I had these out last night thinking about it after we watched the movie. But this is my cassette tape version of the original motion picture soundtrack to the Ninja Turtles. I mean, actual cassette tape that I bought back in 1990. So, 24 years ago, and I still have my cassette tape. Still plays, too. Only cassette deck I have that actually works is in my truck, but it actually works. And then this was something funny, and also something I picked up back in that summer. But this is the Unauthorized Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles quiz book, an unofficial trivia guide to America's hottest phenomenon, written by Jeff Roven, who's the best-selling author of the How to Win at Nintendo Games series books. But this is just full of all kinds of questions about the movie, the TV, the cartoons, trading cards. I see all kinds of stuff in here. I don't even remember what's in this book, but I remember quizzing my little brother in Ninja Turtle stuff that summer after we'd seen the movie. So that's my collection. Some of my thoughts on the Ninja Turtles. Just really, really, really loved the cartoon. Loved the fact that I almost forgot about this. I can't remember his name right now, so I'm going to cheat for a second and look this up. James Avery, never mind. James Avery just passed away recently, which was really sad. James Avery was the voice actor for Shredder in the cartoon, for the most part. I think some other actors did the role a few times here and there, but he was the main guy. And he is also well known for being Uncle Phil on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He was Will Smith, a.k.a. The Fresh Prince. He was his uncle on that show, and he also did the voice of Shredder. And that's always been a fun fact that I've been fond of over the years. There's also a lot of great voice acting talent in this series. So all around, just kind of like one of my favorite old cartoons from the 80s/90s. And I was just thinking about it last night after my daughter watched that movie and didn't seem to hate it. So it was a good night for me. So thanks a lot for watching. Anybody out there have any memories or thoughts about the Ninja Turtles? Comment below. Or go out and check them out if you want to. I don't know if they're on Netflix or any of the services like that. But if you have any kind of interest in cartoons from the 80s and 90s like Transformers, G.I. Joe, He-Man, the Masters of the Universe, this would be right up your alley. Alright, well, with that being said, I think I'll end this here. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.